Hello YouTube. It's still Thanksgiving evening, 6:24 p.m. Thursday, November 25th, 2021, and I just had one of those fucking those kind of moments. Standing at the corner of Thomas and 27th Avenue, and this sucks. The buses are on a holiday Sunday schedule, which is really awful. And thought it was doing good. My friend Chris gave me a ride up to 52nd Street in Thomas, so I was able to catch the Thomas bus, and that got me over here at a reasonable rate of speed. And yeah, it's not the walkabout I'm waiting for. I just came underneath that underpass on the bus, and before I got to the intersection, I hit the string to stop. But for whatever reason, there's no bus stop on that side of the intersection. So of course it carries me all the way across the intersection and down the street, all the way to the other side of that taco shop with the fancy light show and the sign that says pawn shop. Kind of see the bus stop over there, which is quite a ways from the intersection. To me, that's one of the biggest dysfunctions of this bus system, is how damn far the bus stops are at the transfer points. Anyway, walked down here, and as I got to the intersection and trying to cross the light, and I've been waiting to cross this intersection for a while. It's a really long light. The southbound Route 27 just flew right through the intersection, the northbound Route 27 flew right through the intersection. Didn't even slow down. Didn't stop. Apparently, there's nobody waiting or doing the funky chicken waving at him. So he just flew by northbound. Sunday schedule. It's only running every 30 minutes. So I'm stuck standing in this really, really bad neighborhood for the next freaking 30 minutes. Waiting for another bus. Yeah, this is not an area I like to stand around in. I think I am just going to keep moving. This bus stop is dark. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep my ass moving, film a little bit. Oh man, that shit just pisses me off to no end. I don't understand why this bus system can't seem to coordinate transfer times better, especially on routes that only run every 30 damn minutes. I mean, it's just insane having to wait an additional 30 minutes because of poorly coordinated transfers. And to be honest, all it would have taken for me to have been able to catch that bus and of course I was waiting at that red light quite a bit on the bus, trying to get across for him to take me away from the intersection where he dropped me off. And the only thing it would have taken to fix that is just simply having to stop at each side of the intersection. I mean, especially since the one past the intersection is so far down the street, just simply having one underneath that Grand Avenue overpass there before entering the intersection would make all the difference in the world. While he was sitting at that long ass red light, I could have simply hopped off the bus, walked around the corner, and I'd have been waiting there a good, probably 4 or 5 minutes, and then the bus would have been there southbound. Oh, hey, that's lovely. I don't know how well you can see it, but big old chunk of that wall completely knocked out. I'm gonna bet money that was probably the result of somebody coming out of that little tunnel there. That's the if you're heading from westbound Grand and you take the exit for 27th Avenue, that's where it comes out, and there's no left turn coming out of there. It only allows you to make a right, and I'm assuming somebody's probably drunk or just hauling ass and not paying attention, and probably sailed straight through the intersection and plow right into the wall. Yeah, it's a lot of bad drivers here, and there's so much evidence of the damage caused by the bad drivers here. like chunks of knocked out walls like that. Yeah, this is not the route I usually come to work, but since I was over on 52nd Street as opposed to 44th Street where I normally am, there's really no way for me to go either north like I normally do to catch, to take the Route 50 to the 60 across to Bullocks, or south to the light rail, to take the light rail over to Crosstown Mall and then go across on the Route 60. So since over at 52nd Street, as I've said many times, there's no north and southbound buses in between 44th Street and 68th Street. It blows my mind how there can be such a large area with just no buses going in a particular direction. There's just, through that part of town, there's only east and westbound routes. Most of them spaced about a mile apart. There's the bus on McDowell, the bus on Thomas, the bus on Indian School, and the bus on Camelback. Shut up, dog! Oh, anyway. Yeah, I'm just gonna walk for a little bit. Should probably check the bus app just to see how far the bus is behind me, because I have no way of knowing how late that bus was that just sailed right by without stopping as I was trying to get across the street to the bus stop. I mean, there's always that chance that thing's 20 minutes late and the next one's only 10 minutes behind it. As dysfunctional as these buses tend to be. I don't ride the Route 27 very often, and it's not that it doesn't go where I need it to go. I mean, it doesn't drop me as close to Bullocks as the Route 60 does, but it certainly drops me, in a close walking distance. But honestly, my biggest issue with riding the Route 27 is that it's just a really terrible part of town. And if you want to know a little bit more about how bad 27th Avenue is, shout out to one of my favorite YouTubers. He has two channels, Lizard Hunter and Lizard Gang, and his shtick is mostly, and he goes some other places as well, and he's covered some other stuff, but his main thing is just simply driving up and down this road here, 27th Avenue. Doesn't very often come this far south. I'm at Earl, which is functionally the entrance. Like if you go west from here, it takes you on to westbound Grand Avenue. As Grand Avenue is a gradient level interchange, it goes over 27th and Thomas. But anyway, Lizard Hunter in his other channels, which is called Lizard Gang, he generally just rolls up and down 27th Avenue, primarily between Indian School, which is 3/4 of a mile north of here, and Bethany Home. Sometimes he goes as far as Northern, but most of the time he just kind of goes up to Bethany Home, which is where Bullocks is, and shoots footage of the degeneracy that goes on this road, which is a fun mixture of street hookers and homeless people and crackheads. And I'm using the term crackhead loosely. Obviously, crack is not that popular these days. More likely than not, they're nowadays they're probably on meth or doing blues. Blues seems to be the drug of choice, which I think is some kind of a fentanyl thing. I don't know. I don't use drugs, so I really don't know. My drug of choice these days is Miller Lite. So not even drinking good beer. Although I did forget to mention the night would have been, I want to say Monday night. Yeah, Monday night. The night I got my new scooter working, the one that died late last night. Monday night, I got it, the first time I got it working, my friend Corey and I, we rode up to OHSO brewery in Arcadia, which is over on, it's on Indian School Road, right where it hits the Arizona Canal and starts to curve south as you're driving into Scottsdale. And that place is awesome. Has a lot of its own just microbrew craft beers, and we each got one, and a little bit pricey, but freaking delicious. But yeah, usually I'm just cheap and bland, drinking Miller Lite. Let's see. Next bus northbound is on time. It'll be there at 6:56, and it's 6:35. So 30. So yeah, I got 20. I got about 20 minutes till that happens. I think I'm just going to keep walking, even though I'm kind of heading heading from a shitty part of town into a shittier part of town. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll spot the lizard hunter working on Thanksgiving night, or maybe I'll spot some lizards. What the heck? Lizard hunter always doing his thing in his car, making them Chicano U-turns. Imagine I get some. Now, granted, his videos are very well edited. I enjoy the way he edits them. Does some nice slow motion views of the wildlife, as well as he. I'm not sure where he sources his music from, but I highly doubt it's from the YouTube royalty-free music library. The beats he puts on his videos are really good, really good. I would imagine. I've never really asked, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's in his video descriptions, because I rarely look at them. But I would imagine he's probably got somebody making him custom beats, because they're pretty damn good. Anyway, walking northbound on 27th Avenue. It looks like we got a bounce house set up for Thanksgiving. That was a nice family gathering today. Oh yeah, I can smell the barbecue on this side of the fence. I hear the music. Sounds like some banda music. One thing I'll definitely say about these neighborhoods is the majority of when you get off this street, which is pretty crappy, and actually get into the single-family residential neighborhoods off the street, it's not as bad as it's often made out to be. The majority of these houses are owned by working class people, largely working class Latinos, and it's a big demographic area in Arizona. A lot of friends that meet that description, and they know how to party and have a good time and throw a decent backyard barbecue. And while I'm not personally that into banda music, it's certainly something I'm familiar with. It's not unusual in Arizona to have banda and norteño and cumbias and rock en español all mixed right in with everything else. And I've got quite a bit of that in my DJ stuff as well, and I might not break it out as much, but if I got the crowd, it's there. That is a sketchy looking little trailer park on the other side of the road there. It's amazing the things you notice when you're walking on a street versus driving. stomach's hurting a little bit. I'm kind of wishing I'd ate a little more mid-Aprils. So I had a good time over there. Didn't stay too long. There was another couple that was hanging out with them that I know I've met before. Can't remember their names. I actually forget the husband's name. The wife's name is Karen. How can you not forget a Karen, right? Oh, it's gotta suck to have the name Karen these days. Just saying, especially being a white woman. Anyway, she's a sweetheart. Good times with them. Chris's father was there. He bounced out pretty early. And my girlfriend Priscilla was there. But yeah, they put together a damn nice dinner, and I appreciated that. And I actually set up their home theater system a couple of years back. Yeah, Chris has kind of got my dream TV, to be honest. As much as I love the TV I have, I've got a 65-inch Sony Bravia 4K super thin 4K Android TV, OS smart TV. But the coolest feature on it to me, and this is something that's pretty uncommon and sets it apart from other more common 4K smart TVs, is it has passive 3D. And Chris's TV also has got the passive 3D in it, and it's huge. I want to say 80 inches. It's just insanely huge, and the 3D on it is fabulous. Watched about half of the Spider-Man movie, which I know saying Spider-Man movie doesn't narrow it down a lot, but I'm talking about the one that came out, I want to say maybe three-ish, 4 years ago. I actually saw that in 3D. I'm pretty sure I have that on a Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray, and I just have not watched it yet. But I actually went with my daughter Allison to see that when it first showed in theaters, and we went to see a 3D screening of it. So pretty awesome getting to see it again and see it in 3D again. Yeah, there's some scenes in there that are actually my favorite style of 3D scenes. So many people, when they talk about 3D, it's like, oh, these things pop out and it's like it's right in your face. Yeah, that to me that's always kind of struck me as gimmicky. And don't get me wrong, I mean, when there's a little of that and it's well done, I enjoy it. But my favorite type of 3D scenes are when you've got action at a basically screen level distance that's centered, but then that action is taking place in such a location where the background is way behind it, and the 3D screen gives you that feeling of depth and just how far behind it is. Yeah, I'm not sure what canal this is I'm crossing, but I want to say it's the Grand Canal, the one that I was riding along in my last video. Yeah, I did not see any nice bike path on the side, and I highly doubt that it's possible to go along the Grand Canal and get across I-17. One of these days, I will have another scooter working again, and we'll go west of 15th Avenue to see how far that path goes. Really bummed out about the scooter breaking. I mean, not the level of bummed I was last night. I was horribly depressed about it last night. I've since been chatting quite a bit, mostly with my daughter, and I don't think it's going to be too terribly difficult to fix it. I mean, it's not like I heard, it's not like I smelt something smolder. It's not like something really terrible happened. Basically, I was riding along, and it was riding great. Yeah, I think I'm crossing. Imagine I'm crossing Glen Rosa right now without being able to see the street sign. It feels like I'm exactly a quarter mile south of Indian School. Anyway, crossing the, I always say, I was just riding. I think it was just riding like a dream, but it, making the funky kind of sounds it makes when I'm on rough pavement, which is, I mean, there's really nothing I can do. I mean, I guess I could have slowed down and rode on the sidewalk, which is smoother, but since I was cruising along at 19 miles an hour, 18 miles an hour, it just seemed like a better idea to be on the street and using the bike lane, since Washington does have a really nice bike lane in that area. But and to be honest, the bulk of that bike lane is really wide and really smooth. But boy, I just hit a really rough patch of it, and just, of course, hanging on tight. It was 9-body S series scooters do not have a nice ride. When you hit some rough pavement, you feel it. Oh boy, there's a dog. I sure hope that dog is secure behind that short wall. Oh yeah. What's up, dog? What's up, dog? You're internet famous now. That dog looked like he just wanted somebody to play. It really did. Didn't even bark a bit. It just had those come on, play with me eyes. It also looked big enough to take my hand off if it wanted to. Not about reaching in fences to pet strange dogs, especially when the owners are not around, no matter how friendly they look. But they look friendly and cute. Anyway, so yeah, riding the scooter, the started shaking, and then the dashboard just went dark. So based on what it's doing now, which is I can still hit the button on the external battery, and it shows me it's got two bars. But when I try to plug when I tried plugging it into the charger when I got home, it just cycles. It makes the charger cycle on and off, which is something I noticed. I tried charging one of those external batteries without it being on the scooter to see if it's. Whoops! I tripped on a freaking palm tree. Without it being attached to the scooter, to see if it would be possible to charge it without it being on the scooter, and that's exactly what it did when it was disconnected. So my guess is that something has come loose inside it, just from the road vibrations. My daughter was like, well, those batteries were out. I'm willing to bet that those batteries that are on that scooter have zero use on them, zero or next to zero use on them prior to me rebuilding it and using it. And we are hitting the blade now. I'm about to hit it's considered one of the worst parts of town in Phoenix. So hey, maybe we'll get some lizard. Let's see a little lizard action. Anyway, yeah, it's when the part that I use for the what do you call it? For the I don't even know what the heck you call it. The shaft, underneath the handlebars. Which also use the battery, that motor. That whole part came from a scooter that I found on the side of the road that, to be honest, it looked like it had just been put out by Lyft, and it looked like somebody knocked it in the road and ran over it, or possibly ran over it, getting in and out of a driveway. Not the first scooter I saw that looked like it'd been, rental scooter I've seen that looked like it'd been run over a car, but aside from the deck that was just completely destroyed by being hit by the car, it looked brand new. It really did. There was no wear or tear on it. No scratches in the paint. And I'm at that point, I mean, as I said in earlier videos, Lyft scooters did not last long in Scottsdale at all. Now, I did actually go online yesterday, because I was kind of curious whatever had become of Lyft scooters. And surprised to find out that they are still operating scooters in some markets. I forget how many. It's not a few. I did notice Denver was one of them, which is interesting because I do think I actually rode a Lyft scooter the last time I was in Denver, and that was before they started putting them in Scottsdale. So good to see that Lyft is still holding down the market in Denver. Of course, they're only pretty much, I want to say they're only in central Denver, to be honest. It seemed like a pretty wide area. I didn't recognize how far east it went. But I noticed the east side boundary was certainly east of Colorado Boulevard. We have a couple miles east of Colorado Boulevard. And on the west, the coverage area goes as far as Sheridan Road. So, and the north and south boundary was even larger. So, yeah, pretty much covering the bulk of central Denver. In fact, as memory serves, once you get on the other side of Sheridan, you're technically not in Denver anymore. That's where the West Valley suburbs start. You know, Lakewood or Arvada or Wheat Ridge, depending on how far north or south you are. As I recall, it's been a while since I've been to Denver. Might be a lizard right there. Anyway, what's up? I'm all right. How you doing? Anyway, yeah, it was, so yeah, it's good to see they're still running there. I'm trying to think of the other markets that said they were still running in. I do recall Minneapolis being one of them, and maybe 4 others. I forget what they are offhand, but definitely Denver, and definitely Minneapolis. Kind of bummed I don't remember, but it's not like I travel outside of Phoenix all that often. So, anyway, I'm going about 27 minutes of this. Up at Indian School. I was actually contemplating walking over to Jay's Cocktail. Not really feeling it now that I'm here, and it's about 3/4 of a mile walk west of here to get to Jay's Cocktails. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna head over to that bus stop. Quite a few sketchy characters over there, but I'm sure I'll be all right. Anyway, thanks for being with me, and yeah, like and subscribe. I'll be back with more.